federal government set to include Innoson brand in 100 billion naira CNG buses presidential initiative as compressed natural gas. This is a very good one if the government can, can look inward and see our products and our manufacturers that we can support and harness in a way that we can produce things locally so as to remove pressure of foreign currency exchange on naira. Okay, that would be a good one. I know that, the federal government delegates went to Innoson Motors at Nnewi to go and inspect the factory and see what they're doing and see how they can incorporate the Innoson motor into the CNG project that the government is going into, and that will be fine. The manufacturing hub of Nigeria is Southeast. Let's stop this tribal game, okay, so that the country can move forward. This is a good initiative. On the other hand, Innoson also need to be very, very careful dealing with these people, because anything you are doing with Nigerian politicians, you need to see their own underground motive in it. I tell you, some of them are already calculating what they will get from the project. Nigeria is a country where government officials take profit, take all the kickbacks before project starts. And at the end of the day, the project money, all the hands and legs and head and front and back would have gone. And what is left will not be enough to complete the project anymore. So anybody that is doing anything with Nigerian politicians must also be, have a very long spoon and have all your safeguards in place, because, the issue. So the federal government has assured that it would avoid the non-inclusion of Innoson Vehicle Manufacturing Company Limited in the award of contract for the production of buses as part of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. This is as Dr. Innoson Chukwuma, the chairman Innoson Group, has commended President Bola Tinubu for the CNG initiative following the removal of petrol subsidy. So Mr. Ekperikpe Ekpo, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Gas, gave the assurance over the weekend during a tour of the existing IVM factory complex in Nnewi, Anambra State, and the multi-billion new IVM plant to be opened soon with an installed capacity to manufacture 30,000 CNG vehicles annually. Oh boy. So the minister described the non-inclusion as a yesterday occurrence and encouraged Dr. Innoson Chukwuma, chairman of IVM, to continue to provide jobs to the teeming qualified people through his factories. Stakeholders and the public had criticized the federal government for not including Innoson Motors in the initial contract when the names of the auto companies tasked with the supply of CNG buses were made public. So Innoson Motors had pioneered the manufacture of auto gas vehicles, including buses of varied capacities, about 2 years ago, even before the coming on board of this present administration. So you said today is a different day. I can assure you that we will make a move towards making amends from what has happened yesterday to make our person referring to Dr. Innoson Chukwuma proud of where he comes from and that he is from Nigeria. Besides, Ekpo expressed delight with Chukwuma for investing keenly in the manufacture of CNG vehicles and aligning with President Bola Tinubu's commitment to using the CNG initiative to dampen the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy on the masses. So he said the massive production of vehicles that run on CNG by Innoson was giving a boost to the transition from petrol, and diesel to gas. Ekpo also remarked that manufacturing activities at IVM were in line with the aspirations of Mr. President, stressing that the President would be delighted at the growth and expansion of the company. So he reiterated that the plan of Tinubu for the use of CNG was to cut costs in the spending model of government and creating a greenhouse economy. So the chairman took me to observe the exhaust pipe, and when I saw it, it was very clean and nothing came out of it. And it was in the condition that we will really appreciate. So I am really happy to see what I am seeing at Innoson, and I give him kudos for identifying with the president as he did this morning with his comment on moving from gas to prosperity. So by the special grace of God, we have a son of Nigeria who is making Nigeria proud in CNG vehicle production. So when I return to Abuja, I will brief the president on what I have seen and what I have experienced. It is left for the president to take a decision on the direction to go. Can you imagine? I fear these people, I tell you. There is a presidential committee in CNG. I will equally collaborate and sit down with them and talk about the issue, because we are looking at how to cut costs, reduce expenses, which will add value to our country, Nigeria. So CNG vehicles should be patronized from all angles, and I believe the president will support such aspirations, he added. So in his reaction, Chukwuma echoed his belief that the exclusion from the contract award for the CNG buses by the Presidential Committee should be regarded as a thing of the past and a mistake, while expecting a fairer process in the future. So he expressed that maybe the committee was not aware of the extent IVM had gone in manufacturing CNG vehicles since 2022, but stressed that the committee was now more informed about the company's activity. So he added, but it is not compulsory that they will use IVM to start the implementation of the CNG initiative. They can use anybody's brand to start, but they will later understand the true position of things as time goes on. We are all working together to move the nation forward. The Innoson chairman also commended Tinubu for the CNG initiative following the removal of petrol subsidy. So he further lauded the president for directing government ministries and agencies to key into the momentum for Nigerians to follow suit. So he said, we have confidence in President Tinubu because he knows how to handle any situation. He is an expert and he showed it in Lagos State as a governor. So we still believe he will do it with Nigeria. So that the Lagos miracle has gone. All these things we are doing here are part of our effort to support him so that the government can be able to make Nigeria great. With all these things we are doing and everybody's support, the president will surely make Nigeria great. I am building this new CNG factory now, and the president is expected to commission it very soon. So one of the highlights of the minister's tour was the demonstration of the firefighting systems of IVM fire trucks. Can you imagine? And a segment-by-segment display of a wide range of IVM vehicles. The guy has done very well. And we are here in Nigeria, we're not appreciating it, but other West African countries are already placing order in that IVM motor to supply. So already IVM is supplying some governments of West African countries. Meanwhile, we here in Nigeria, we are looking for Japan, Korea, and Singapore motors. We are not even looking at what our own is producing. You can imagine they awarded the contract for the companies to come and supply the CNG buses. They omitted Innoson. And if somebody is saying that it's the hatred for Igbos, it will look like it's something. Thank God that they are now beginning to retrace their steps to see how they can include Innoson. And look at the caveat in the minister's statement that he has seen everything. He will go to Abuja. He will brief the presidential committee on CNG. He will also brief the president, but it is left to the president to determine the direction to go. So if the president say allow Innoson, they will allow. If the president say forget about Innoson, they will forget it. So Innoson, now one good thing about these guys, including Innoson, is that they know how to sell their product. They don't mind, they will do it, and then they will ship it out of the country, and it goes. And this is actually part of the sources of foreign exchange money, to Nigeria. You understand? Because when you ship it, you are paid in dollars, and the dollar come back to Nigeria. So I think we really need to, see how we can promote our own in the country. Look at what is happening in Abia State now under the leadership of Governor Alex Oti. All of these things are meant to boost the economy of the country. I just hope that the government will be wise enough to tap into the potentials and capabilities of this country. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment on this CNG project.